Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday, the 8th of June. I woke up this morning to another suicide, newsworthy suicide. I mean, they all should be newsworthy to the point of where that life means a lot. Life is everything. Life is precious, and to see people choose this route. Now, the thing is, I've had friends do this, and it's not something that I'm going to say that I understand. I mean, people battle depression, people go through depressing moments, but as a kid, I may have considered it, or like at least like, hey, what will the world be like without me? Thought about it like that. But there's just the problems that I have in my life are not greater than the impact that I have on the world. And I think that for someone of Anthony Bourdain's sort of the echelon that he's on, I mean, he's world renowned, very popular. A lot of people watch his show, and he affected like people who are into travel. He affected people who are into food. Cooks and chefs and people that have overcome addiction, in which he had. He touches so many different people's lives, and I think that does come with a certain amount of pressure to, feel like you're constantly being under there's like, I don't know what it is about famous people that when they battle depression, but it's obviously, I'm not going to speak to it as if I'm some guru or anything like that, but I think that suicide is, people say that mental illness is a real thing, and I have a hard time accepting the fact that it now is one of these things that people is attached to. It's not guns, it's mental illness. It's not depression and suicide, it's mental illness. It's it's another one of these catchphrases that get thrown around whenever something happens, where it's like people don't have explanations for something, or they can't really get down to the root cause of it. It's a mental illness. Just throw that out there, and that's what it is. Mental illness, I don't think is necessarily the cause of it. I think it's sort of a mental weakness. I think it's a weakness. I think that the fact that guy had an 11-year-old daughter, and for myself, I have a daughter as well, and I mean, you can go down the list of the things that can happen to me to where I would never consider that, or even think about it. It's not even a remote possibility at all. Now, the issues of suicide, it's just, it's beyond me to why someone would choose that, to make that decision. I mean, I know we had, a lot of people knew about Kate Spade, I think it was. I have never heard of her. Then again, I don't have handbags, and so that's why I hadn't heard of her. But that happened, and then Anthony Bourdain, like less than a week later, and I just don't understand how someone can make that decision and think that the consequences of their decision, it's gonna fix things, it's gonna make things better, maybe for themselves, and they don't think about the ripple effect of how it affects everybody. It affects people in your family, it affects people that looked up to you, people that envied your life, or the people that were kind of, you were their, the person that, hey, maybe if they can do it, I can do it type of thing. It's one of those things that it's just, and now it's like people look at these famous people and they're like, they hear the word suicide. It's giving attention to somebody for the wrong reasons. It's just, it's, suicide is just one of those things that it's extremely, it's not greedy, but it's very selfish. It is very selfish, and it's not about, we have problems. Everybody has problems in life, but the thing is, like, if you're you don't have self-confidence or something, you work on it. It's about self-awareness and improving yourself in all aspects of your life. And if there's something that you suffer from, you focus on it, and you work on it, and you talk to people about it, and you try to correct it before something like this happens. And I don't know what the specifics were of the situation that he was going through, or what he had been doing versus what he had not been doing. And you're blocking my road, dude. Shit. You guys just saw me do that. Anyway, it's extremely selfish. You're only thinking about yourself and your problems, and it's like everyone that you see on the streets, or you walk across, they're dealing with some problems of their own. Everyone has problems. The thing is, it's like, it's not, your problems are not special. Everyone has issues that they deal with on a daily basis, or they've been living with their whole life. We all have things, and it's like, for you to say that my issue is much more difficult than yours to the point where I have to end my life and cause all these people harm and grief and everything like that, it's extremely selfish. I don't hate the person that does it. I just hate the action. I hate using hate is a strong word that I very rarely use. But I extremely loathe and dislike that decision. And it's extremely selfish is what it is. If you have an issue, I have family members that have tried. It's there. At one point in my life, I was evaluated for depression and all that other stuff, but it was just I found something that enlightened my life to where it's like I find peace and serenity in certain things to where I'm fine. I'm usually one of the happiest guys around. I don't go home and hate my life and loathe a bunch of stuff. I'm a happy person, because I am, and because I have no other choice. You have to push through the difficult things. My mom passed away recently, and it's like, at no point did I look at that and think about, what if I wasn't here either? It has nothing to do with that. It's a weakness, and it's extremely selfish. And I'm not gonna try to beat on someone who's made that decision. Their life is over, and now it's dealing with fixing up the mess that they made and their lives that they hurt, and the people that have to suffer because of their decision. And we all make decisions where we hurt other people in life. That's true. But doing this, to say that your problem is impossible to overcome to the point where you decide to make a selfish decision to hurt other people, to have them with that memory for the rest of their life, is extremely selfish. And I do not respect that decision. You can think about it. That's okay. That's part of the thought process that goes into evaluating where you are in life and what's going on in your world. I understand that. But to say that your problems in your life and what you're going through is so hard that you have to remove yourself from the world and cause other people a lifetime of pain and suffering because of the decision you're making is extremely selfish, and you don't think things through enough. And I'm not going to say that he was a bad person, or anyone that chooses to make that decision is a bad person, but I will say it's an extremely selfish act that people make, not thinking about the consequences of those that they affect. And the fact that he had a young girl as a daughter makes it even much more selfish. And that's one of the reasons why I'm talking about it, is because I have a daughter. And I would never, my business could tank, and I could be filing for bankruptcy, and it would never be bad enough to the point where I have to do that, Or, I don't know what he was going through. That's the thing. I can't really, it helped to know kind of what he was going through mentally, to put yourself in that position, evaluate it from an empathetic standpoint. But suicide is extremely selfish, and it's one of those things that it's tough to talk about, but it needs to be talked about, because there's a lot of people that think about it, consider it, and may never make that decision, but they might. And so it's not a mental illness. It's the fact that somebody has not enough self-awareness to realize what they're not good at, or what they need to focus on and improve. Because I'm not going to get into chemical imbalances and all that stuff, but I just think that people go through situations where it's tough and it's difficult, and that seems like the only logical reason out in their own state of mind. But it's like any decision like that, you got to sleep on it and just realize that it's a momentary thing. It'll pass again, and there is light at the end of the tunnel. You have to be optimistic. So anyway, it's kind of wrapping this up here. It's a selfish act, and I don't respect it. And the people that decide to make that decision don't think about the ripple effect and how many other lives it hurts and hits, and all these people now have to live with, their lives for the rest of their lives, 50 something years, and like his kid's going to be around for another 60 or 70, and she's going to know that her dad decided to make this decision to end his life instead of being there with her through her life. Maybe he was dealing with cancer or something like that. If that's the case, I understand it. I do believe in someone's right to, if it's a terminal illness that someone decides to, that has no cure, it's incurable disease. I believe in someone's right to decide to end their own life medically. But that's it. When two doctors say there's no other way out of it, then if they choose to do that, that's fine. And the thing is, like, I support people's decisions to make their right to make their own decisions. But when it comes to suicide, who knows? There more news can come out. It could have been autoerotic asphyxiation, which has happened plenty of times. I know a few people that have had family members do that. We know movie stars that have done that. It could be that, I don't know. But the thing is, if it was just straight out of just feeling down in the dumps and your life is too horrible and you just couldn't go on and you had to end it, it's a selfless act. It's a selfish act, and it affects so many people, and I don't respect people that do that. So have a great day. Have a great Friday. Weekend's here. I fly out to Atlanta on Sunday. I'll be there for a week, and I'll be posting while I'm there too. So have a great day. Have a great weekend. We'll probably see you Monday.